Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abby, and today we're going to be starting some more seeds. I have already started cabbage, Brussels, and broccoli, as well as some onions, and then I have my peppers. I recently up-potted my brassicas because they were getting pretty huge for these little tiny seed cells, and I might have to up-pot them again. I don't know. We'll see how they go, but they're getting so big and so healthy, and it's just super exciting that like this is actually working and it's actually spring, and I'm just so excited. So today we're starting some more seeds. We are in zone 6, so our last frost is April 30th, and that's about 6 weeks away at this point. So I guess I need to make some little holes in my soil. But today we're planting all of our tomatoes as well as some cosmos. I'm also planting a couple ground cherries. I've never planted ground cherries before. I've never even eaten a ground cherry, but they sounded fun, and I have a toddler now and he likes to, try random things and eat things straight from the garden. So I thought this would be a fun thing to plant for him. So I'm going to plant 3 cells of ground cherries with a couple seeds in each. The seeds are just so itty bitty tiny. I'm going to try to do 3 seeds in each, but I probably will get a couple more than that in there just because they're really hard to handle. All right, I need a couple more. But ground cherries are supposed to be super sweet, and I'm just really excited to try them. I think they'll be really fun. I don't know if you can hear our chicks in the background, but they are also in the dining room right now. They're doing so well. We did get a little runt chick from the farm store for free. We tried to revive her, and she did not make it, unfortunately. But the other 5 that we did pay for, they are doing awesome. I can show you a little video of them. They're doing so good. They're starting to get some real feathers, which is really fun. Yeah, they're just so active. I love them so much. Our church small group is coming over tomorrow to let all the kiddos hold them, and I love it so much. Spring is the best. All right, so I did 3 cells of ground cherries. I'm doing 3 cells of the cherry tomatoes. Again, these are just kind of for my toddler. He enjoys eating them straight from the garden. Again, I'm putting 2 to 3 seeds in each of these little cells. And then if they all germinate, I will thin them out. So if you look here, if you've never started seeds before, if you look in this little cell, I planted 3 pepper seeds and all 3 of them germinated, which is awesome. That doesn't always happen. And I will let them go a couple more days to see which one kind of looks the biggest and the healthiest. I'll leave that one and pull the other 2 out. Some people only plant 1 seed in each cell and just, hope that they all germinate. But that makes me a little bit nervous, especially since I've never done this before. So I definitely wanted to just plant extra seeds in each one to make sure I got, as many as possible. Didn't have to replant anything. So we'll see. We'll see how they go. So we have 3 cells of the ground cherries, 3 of the cherry tomatoes. We are doing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 6. So 6 plants of the Bonnie Best tomato. Come on out. All right. Okay, just a couple seeds left for next year. Let me cover those up. And I do have labels on this side. You're not able to see them anymore, but I did label every row so I know what's in it. I've just heard too many people say like they think they'll remember and then they don't, because a lot of seeds look the exact same. Just like my husband was so kind and he watered my brassicas for me while we were away, but he thinks he might have mixed up a few of them. So we're just going to hope all the cabbages are actually cabbage and the broccolis are actually broccolis. But we'll see. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Next, I'm going in with some Homestead tomatoes. The kiddos and I were away last week. We went to visit my parents for my mom's birthday, and we had so much fun. But before we left, I knew I had to up-pot some of my plants, like all my brassicas. just because they were getting way too big for the little seed cells. So I made sure I did that, and we came back and I feel like they like quadrupled in size. They are so huge. I just took a video while I was planting them into the bigger pots. So I'll share that with you now so you can see. But this was about like a week ago, a week and a half ago maybe. And then I'll show you them today. And they are just so big. It's so much fun. I love it so much. I have so much doubt as a gardener. Like I know I grow things every year and it's always turned out fine. Like some things do really well and some things, obviously you have rough years, but like things grow. They just, seeds are supposed to grow. They know how to grow. That's their entire job, is to grow. So you just got to trust them, give them some water, some dirt, some light, and they will be okay. But I always doubt it every year. Like maybe this year is the year that nothing grows. Oh. All right, so we got our Amish paste tomatoes. Those are some of my favorites. I've grown them every year that we've had a garden, and they grow so many tomatoes. They're really disease resistant. They're really just nice tomatoes. I love it so much. And then lastly today, what are we planting? Oh, cosmos. I've never grown cosmos, but I think they are the prettiest flower. So we're going to start some of them today. I have a red variety and a pink variety. So we're going to do 3 cells of each of those. I'm going to plant probably like 5 or 6 seeds in each cell, just because I'm not going to thin these down to a single plant per cell like I did with the peppers and tomatoes and everything, because they're flowers. Like I want them to be full, and you know, the more flowers, the better. They're not going to crowd each other. So I will upplant them a lot quicker than the other ones probably, but we'll probably I think I put 6 or 7 in each. I didn't really count. I just put some in there. So they are good to go. And when they start growing, I'll move them to a bigger pot so they have lots of space to spread out. But again, they're flowers, so I'm okay either separating them out into like bigger chunks or just planting them as one chunk of flower and letting them all grow together. Either way, they'll be perfect. You can't really do that with tomatoes because they like definitely need their own space to make sure they have the biggest, healthiest fruit possible. But with these, that's not as big of a concern. All right, and there we have it. I don't know that I've mentioned, but I usually top water them at first, just to make sure it's nice and soaked from the top. I'll go to my sink and we have like a sprayer kind of thing that it's like a shower sprayer, so it's not as intense. But I will spray them from the top, give them a really good watering at first, and then from then on I bottom water. So I just fill the tray and let the dirt and the roots kind of soak up the water. And that's how I prefer to do it. Just as a quick grow shelf update, it is working pretty well for us. For the top lights, I held them up with twine and we just kind of have knotted it as we need to adjust the height. We have 3 up here, so I was putting the like new baby seedlings there because it's a little bit more intensive. And then as they grow and get bigger, I've been moving them down to the second shelf, which only has 2 lights. So just not as intensive, but still a little bit of light support. And then we do have 1 extra light back there. If I were to need to add that somewhere, I can. But oh, there's all my random gardening items as well that just are chilling there for now. My sweet potatoes are doing pretty well. Look at all the roots that are forming. Like, that's cool. And then right here, I don't know if you can see, my first slip is coming out of the top right there. So exciting. And then this little guy, he has a ton of roots as well, and a slip forming there as well. Very cool. So hopefully those continue. And then for these up here, there is a lot of roots forming, which is always a good sign. And then we have 2 slips on this potato over here on this side, just 2 right there. I started the sweet potatoes on February 14th, so about a month later, and now they're both sprouting. Some people on the internet said the water method was faster. Some people said like the soil method was faster, but they both seem to have sprouted some slips at the exact same time. So I don't know. We'll just see how they continue to grow and if I have a favorite method to try next year. For my onions, they're doing really, really well. They were kind of getting burnt on top, but I think I just had them too close to the lights and they are thriving now that I put them down here. Just ignore these. These are from last year. These are Brussels, broccoli, and then cabbage. My cabbages, I don't know, they looked so good until I transplanted them into these pots, and now they're kind of struggling a little bit. So we're just going to keep encouraging them, and hopefully we get a couple out of them. I tend to prefer to grow cabbage in the fall just because it is a good storage crop. So if they don't do well this spring, then we'll just try again in the fall. Something new I added is a fan. I let it run for a couple hours a day just to kind of stimulate the seedlings and help their roots strengthen so they transition well to the outside where they will have to deal with wind and weather. All right, so I wasn't going to plant peas, but I've talked myself into it, and I have a whole bunch left over from last year. Got them on clearance at the end of the season last year. So we are just going to plant them and hope for the best. They should be fine. I planted some in the fall and they did okay. So let's go for it. It's super sunny, beautiful outside, but extremely windy, so I probably won't talk much out there. I will just get the job done, and then we'll chat later. Just to give you a quick overview of the garden, we have our chicken tractor that moves every single day. But we are going to plant our peas right here on this side. Then all the way down at that end is our asparagus bed. So I do need to do some planning to figure out where everything is going. But for now, I know peas are going here along this fencing. All right, the first seeds are in the actual garden, which is so exciting. I have nice dirty hands, and that is a sure sign of spring. I did want to say I like to plant snap peas. That's my personal favorite. You can eat them raw, or you can just cook them in the pod. That is my preference. I grew shelling peas for, I think, the first year that I had a garden, and it was just so much effort for like 2 servings of peas because you had to shell every single pod, and you got like maybe 6 peas out of it, and that's, a bite. So it just was so much effort for so little end product. So that's why I like to grow snap peas. You can eat them raw, 1, and 2, if you cook them, you still eat the pods. So you get like way more bang for your buck with a whole lot less effort because I don't have time to spend an hour shelling 2 servings of peas. So today we planted peas in the actual garden. I'm going to do a second planting of those probably in 2 weeks or so. When I start my next round of seeds indoors, I'll also plant some more peas outdoors just so we kind of have a continual harvest there for a few weeks in the spring. We also did some, what do we plant inside? We planted our tomatoes, a few varieties of tomatoes, ground cherries, and some flowers inside. I also gave you a chick update and a seedling update and a grow station, grow light update, as well as the sweet potato slips. So lots of exciting stuff. I love spring. I love all the new life and all the new growth, and it just makes me so, so happy. This is one of my favorite times of year. So thank you for coming along with me. I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful week. Bye.